Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Tales of Aneria Christmas special. Snowflakes and jingle bells and all that. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. I am joined tonight by Scott and Preston and Torrey, the usual suspects here. Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, that's not what I meant, but okay, fine.
Hey.
That's what you
We're
get.
doing something weird tonight, something we haven't done before, and hopefully will turn out really good. We will see.
It's par for the course. We're weird.
This is weird even for us.
In lieu of any sort of other holiday shenanigans, any holiday episode, we are going to be doing a Tales of Aneria script read that I wrote. That's a kind of a Christmas story about Aneria.
Oh, I thought we were just
Yes.
going to tell ghost stories. I'm out. Cancel.
Is that?
I'll
that is
see you guys
very much
later.
Hey, whoa, Scott! This is a ghost story.
Oh.
Just you wait.
Oh.
Just you wait.
Ooh,
Christmas
I love
carols is a
ghosts.
ghost story.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do, this is what they call in the biz a blind read. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share...
Perfect for Victor then.
Yes.
Try to read it without looking at the screen.
Yes.
Yep.
Good luck.
So I'm going to share the document with everybody.
Ad lib.
And the fine folk here have not seen anything about this document. But it does have their name and their character in here. Fully original characters I wrote for everybody. I hope we all enjoy them, and we're going to get into the script read in just a moment here, as soon as everybody familiarizes themselves with kind of the little blurb I gave about their character. Okay, so let's go ahead. Preston, who are you playing this evening?
I'm Whitley Middlebroth, a gnome gentleman investigator.
Okay. Scott, what about you?
Hey, I'm Biscuit. If you need anything fixing or hauling, I'm your guy.
Perfect. And Tori, how about you?
Well, of course, my name is Hilda Dolehammer, and I am a dwarf inventor. Extraordinaire.
Perfect. Excellent. Wonderful. I'm
And
already
I'm a goblin.
so excited.
I didn't say that.
and I'm a goblin.
Yeah, I'm a goblin. I'm a goblin.
And then I will be playing the narrator and all the other characters that appear as per
What? That's
usual.
not normal. That's weird.
No.
This never happens.
No, I usually just play one person every session that we do. Yep.
Southern
Like,
accent.
always a southern accent. Okay, so if we are ready, let's go ahead and begin. To begin, one must understand that Christmas exists in an area, and one mustn't think too hard about that. Details on why or how are unimportant. Just the fact that the holiday exists is all that is needed to know to understand our story. The second thing one must understand is that this Christmas season, the manor of Mayor Ignis Saul has been experiencing many different strange occurrences. Howling in the night, artwork displaying grisly new scenes, and many reports of attacks on the staff resulting in shaky hands and bitten shins have put the mayor and his family on edge. With no other choice, Mayor Saul made a call to the Wayward Watch to have them investigate, but they proved indisposed. So he sent a letter to his old friend Mungo, but Mungo's usual contacts in the Little Hopes are unavailable. To make the third time truly the charm, Ignis marched himself down to the mid-level of Saulsport to make a personal call to a rather unorthodox source. And that is where we find him, standing outside an uninteresting-looking apartment squeezed in between two other grander homes. The address reads 44 Aldwyn Lane, but the wooden sign tacked on the front of the residence instead proclaims this as the home of Middlebroth Investigations. With a swift knock on the door, Ignis commits to his plan. Hello? Is anyone home? The door creaks open, revealing a light green goblin with shaggy black hair and a pair of mutton chops wearing a red jerkin and tan pants.
Eh?
Ah, hello, good sir. I am Ignis Saul, though you probably already know that.
Who?
Ignis Saul? The mayor of this fine town?
Oh, yeah. Him.
Me.
What?
Him is me. I mean, I am him. the mayor.
Yeah, I got that.
And you are?
Biscuits.
Right. Well, Mr. Biscuits, I am looking to speak with Mr. Mindlebroth. Is he in?
Last I checked, he's inside.
Excellent. Well, may I come in?
That'd be the best way to see him, yeah.
The small goblin leads the mayor to into a rather cramped house. At least it would be cramped for the large folk like him. While the downstairs is filled with the sounds of metal clanging against metal, from the upstairs flows a far more grating sound, that of an attempt at music. It must be a common enough cacophony, as Biscuit pulls some well-used cotton balls from his pockets and stuffs them into his large ears before leading the mayor up the stairs and motioning for him to go through the door. Inside, the mayor finds himself in a small office space filled with a clutter of knickknacks and paper-filled folders. The music, a tinny ringing in a random pattern, comes from a gnome standing at the center of the room. Cream-colored skin, a fine gray suit, and a well-manicured mustache are the trademarks of this man. Whitley Mindlebroth, the head of this little company, is attempting to play a song on a hollowed metal drum with grooves filled with water by tapping on the sides with a pair of small rock chisels. He mercifully stops as he notices the man in his office.
Ah, Mayor Ignis Saul, what a pleasure to have you gracing my humble establishment with your grandeur.
Ah, yes. Thank you for having me over, Mr. Whitley. That device you are playing, is that...
Yes, quite the interesting little instrument, developed by the caverns of Malagoth by the Muon. I once saw one in a thrift shop the other day, and I simply had to have it.
It sounds interesting.
Well, it's supposed to be played in the crystal caverns, so the sound reflects and harmonizes, you see. Unfortunately, I do not have a crystal cavern, but just my own determination. Still, I thought it might make a rather good crack at it.
It was a noble attempt.
But where are my manners? Biscuit!
Eh?
Would you kindly get a drink for Mr. Sal and myself? Some of that special nog of yours, I would think.
Get one for myself, too. 3 gobnogs coming up.
Oh, I don't really think that's...
Oh, splendid. And grab Hilda while you're at it. I believe she'll want to be here as we talk business.
Sorry, it would be you again, Whitley.
Yep. Sorry, I'm scrolling.
No, you're good. That was that's my bad for
Slow
leaving that direction. That any that don't have any sort of name before them, we just we can
now
just...
you're good. Now, my dear Mayor, I'm glad you have finally decided to take the matter of the bone fairies more seriously.
I'm sorry. The what?
The bone fairies, nasty little creatures that have been stealing bones from all over the city. Surely, your visit is about my numerous letters, detailing their movements, and that I sent your estate.
I'll admit, I don't believe I've received a single one of those letters, Mr. Mindlebroth.
I see. There can only be one explanation, of course.
My staff must have...
Yeah, the fairies must have known that I sent those letters, and intercepted them. Yes. Torn them to shreds in transit.
Yes, that
well, it is no matter. No matter. You must be here to discuss them in great detail.
Mr. Mindlebroth.
No, there must be here somewhere.
Mr. Mindlebroth, please.
No. The case of the candy coat.
Oh! Whitley, you daft fool! Oh,
Actually, sorry, I should probably actually read this one. Hang on,
Okay.
sorry. Both Whitley and Ignis jump as a dwarf woman stomps into the room. Her voluminous, oh man, I can't even read the words I wrote. Chestnut brown hair is tied in a ponytail, and her tunic is covered with a well-worn leather smock. She waves a set of tongs in the air menacingly as she continues.
It's clear the mayor doesn't want to talk to you about your ridiculous fairy conspiracy.
But no, it's not a theory. They are...
Good afternoon, and a Merry Christmas, Mayor Sal.
Merry Christmas to you as well, miss.
Hilda Dollhammer at your service.
Oh, I do hope you are, but by that I mean I would like to hire your company to help with a most serious matter.
Oh, really? What is that?
Saving Christmas, of course. Ignis spoke at length about the strange happenings around his manor, a subject we have previously discussed, and have no need to retell at this time. In short, for those who were not paying attention the first time, Ignis believes his house is being haunted by some form of ghost or demon. By the time he comes to the end of his speech, Bizcut has returned, and the four have full mugs of steaming gobnog, though the mayor seems reluctant to sip on his. And so with no other recourse, I sent my staff home until the matter could be resolved.
Seems like a good vacation.
I'm afraid that my children and my wife will have the most unpleasant of days tomorrow if this force continues to terrorize my manor, and so I would like to hire your services to help find and expunge this evil so my staff can return and Christmas can be saved.
Well, Mayor Sal, we are currently happy to be your first choice. We would be happy to take up this task and we will clear your house of the wrongdoers.
And how do you propose we do that, Whitley?
Well, I of course do mean that we will investigate the cause. You will design the contraption to expel the spectre, and Biscuit here...
Bizkit will haul the gear.
Precisely! You see, a simple job that we have done 100 times before.
It isn't simple, Whitley. An exorcism takes a week or more, and you know this. We need a few days to determine what type of being is in the house, a couple days to build the equipment needed to purge it, and another to actually do the deed. And you want us to do this in one night?
Hilda, please, it is Christmas. Surely you have enough gear so that we'll be ready for any situation, and that the cells can have a carefree festive morning.
You want Biscuit to haul my entire workshop?
It's my burden to bear.
See? He likes the idea.
Well then, we can move on to the next point. What if I don't have the proper equipment at all? My workshop doesn't have everything.
Well, I'm sure you'll figure something out. You always do. Mr. Mayor, we will take the job, and that nasty spirit or demon cleared out before it's time to open presents. We'll have it clear.
Oh, thank you. You've just made my whole holiday.
Hilda, Biscuit, head downstairs and pack everything you need. We'll head out immediately. Hip hip.
And they did, despite the sheer... Geez, hang on, let me start over. There was a bug that looked like it came out of my mouth. And they did. Despite the sheer amount of magical artifacts that Hilda insisted on bringing, the trio departed soon after the mayor and began the trek up the cliffside roads of Salsport to its upper level. Whitley led the way, his cane tapping against the cobblestones in time with the festive song on his lips and looking for all the world like he was simply going out for an evening stroll to sing carols and ring in the holiday. Hilda marched behind him, her head hunched over as she scribbled in a book to try and make some last-minute preparations, but her footfalls marching in time with the beat set by the song of her companion. And Bizcut brought up the rear, of course, weighed down as he was by the half-dozen backpacks, bags, and toolkits, but singing a parody of the very same carol and doing a very good job at butchering the spirit of the original song with his own crass version. As they arrived at the onyx black stone of the Saul Manor, they made a brief exchange with the mayor before he and his family left to spend the evening at a nearby property that Ignis's family also owned. Soon enough, the trio were left alone in the grand foyer of the mansion, dressed up in strings of holly and dangling crystals shaped like snowflakes.
All right, let's get to work. Hilda, begin setting up whatever equipment you need in here to start getting readings or whatever it is you do.
Aye, just about the long and short of it there.
Biscuit, you head to the dining hall and see if you can find any hint of a bully.
I was feeling a bit peckish.
Yes. I will head to the ballroom where the cells said most of the activity was, to try and commune with our uninvited guest. Good luck, everyone.
With that, Whitley marched away, missing the look that his two companions shared. A look that said that Whitley was definitely getting in over his head, but neither was about to prevent him from making a fool of himself. Whitley marched his way down the various halls of Saul Manor, pausing to examine a few fine pieces of artwork. They were all themed around the season, implying that the Saul family had enough paintings and statues to fill his manor with both seasonal and regular grandeur. Eventually, he found himself in the grand ballroom, where a truly enormous tree had been decorated with various shimmering baubles, and the floor around it covered with a frankly insane amount of wrapped gifts.
Ah, the high life. Perhaps next year I will be invited to join this upper crust of society, and once again enjoy all that nobility has to offer. Now to poke around, quite literally, in fact.
With a tap of his cane, Whitley began to investigate the spirit the best way he knew how, by attempting to antagonize it. His cane poked at decorations, furniture, and even the gifts themselves in an attempt to stir the ghost into action, all the while taunting it quite thoroughly.
Too scared to come out and face your true opponent, spirit? You would much rather attack the staff like a coward, instead of attempting to match the wits with a fantastical Whitley Minderbroth? Shall I make an addendum to your tombstone? To chicken thy face, a worthy foe... To chicken...
Let me try that again.
You're good.
To chicken to face, a worthy foe in the battle of skill of mind.
Whether by... yeah, I kind of like to chicken thy face. I think that actually works really good, yeah. Whether by action or word, Whitley did in fact provoke something within the manor that night. For the next poke that rushed out towards a parcel wrapped in shimmering red and yellow paper stretched itself open in response. The side of the package ripped and transformed into a maw of long pointed teeth and a sticky tongue wrapped around the base of the cane. The ribbon on top snapped out like lightning, striking at the air in front of Whitley with a soft whip crack as a half-dozen eyes popped into existence on the parcel's surface. The two struggled, with the gnome attempting to pull the cane free, while the monster present attempted to pull the gnome into its slavering maw.
Ha! There you are, you little nasty. You might have me trapped, do you? You think? You don't realize that my cane is also more than it appears to be. Aha!
With a press of a button, the top half of Whitley's cane pulled free to reveal a glimmering gnome-sized rapier. This had the added effect of driving the sheath of the cane towards the monster present, smacking it in the face. His distraction secure, the gnome stepped forward in a practiced motion and stabbed deep into the eyes of the present, jabbing and backing away repeatedly until the creature was nothing more than an oozing pile of false present.
No match for me, are you, beastie? If you weren't the demon itself, then I hope that they had a good look at what happens when you go and do one with Whitley Minderbroth.
Whitley's next retort died on his lips as more of the presents began moving, then a pair of lounging chairs, followed by several ornaments up and down the tree. Each grew fangs and eyes just as the first, snapping and shambling forward as a group towards the target that had just slain their friend.
15 to 1, however. Much dicier odds.
Meanwhile, in the banquet hall of the manor, the goblin Biscuit found himself in the rare position of being able to stuff his face with the fanciest of foods without having to pay for a single one. Small personal cakes, sweet gingerbread cookies, and a pink drink that tasted like sweet fruit were shoveled into his mouth at a rate that would make a boulette jealous.
This food just laying out like this. There's no way that a small family could eat all this, but I should be able to. And in the end, I'll just tell the mayor that the ghost got all the food, yes, before we could save it. No harm, no foul. Oh. Ooh, pheasant.
Goblin appetites are known to be incredible, but Biscuit prided himself on his ability to out-eat any of his dozen family members. There was a bit of worry in the back of his mind that he would be unable to outshine the others of his clan in their yearly consumption contest tomorrow, but he figured that losing 1 year to Cousin Vatgut was a small price to pay when it came to eating the finest foods he had ever had.
She deserves it anyway. She had her first litter this year, after all.
The goblin finished off half of the pheasant and moved his way down the table, sticking his hands in pies and pulling out handfuls of delicious fruits to stuff down his gullet. But when he struck his hand into a wobbly substance he had never seen before, he found it stuck fast and a tingling sensation traveling up his arm.
Huh? Caught by food?
Bizkit yanked and pulled and yanked, until finally, with a sucking sound, his hand came free. The dirty glove he was wearing, however, remained inside the jiggling green dome. Before the goblin's eyes, the glove began to sizzle within the dessert, small air bubbles streaking up to pop at the top with tiny noises that would have been hilarious to the goblin in most circumstances.
What kind of person makes a dessert that's acidic? Nobles are so weird.
While Bizkit was ready to move on, the dessert had other ideas. With a slick sound and a plop, it dropped from the food table and onto the ground, coming up taller than the goblin's head in size, and began a slow trek in his direction. At the same time, Bizkit heard the cracking of porcelain, his attention snapping back to see that one of the figgy pudding bowls had shattered and its contents were spilling down on the ground, moving not just with gravity, but with malicious purpose, straight towards him as well from behind. The goblin was trapped between two desserts that looked ready to eat him.
Not the figgy pudding.
Not the figgy pudding.
Maybe I'll die an undefeated food champion after all.
Back in the foyer of the manor, the frustrated dwarf Hilda snapped open another wooden tripod capped with a glimmering crystal, checking a few settings. Is that the figgy pudding that I'm hearing in the background?
No, sorry. I was reaching for my mute button. Sorry about that. Let's try that again.
You're supposed to add the sound effects later when you edit.
The editing, right?
Yeah, it's just This will go in bloopers.
Yeah. No, it's perfect. I'm okay with keeping it in, too. I think that's fun. Checking a few settings on the runes before activating it, until it and several others evenly spaced around the room, like it, hummed with a soft golden light.
Ah, there. That should keep any spirits from sneaking up on me. Now, to set up that spectral detector. Ugh. My colleagues in Archdom could see me now. The great Hilda Dolhammer, tinkerer, extraordinaire, and developer of the multifaceted slag. Let me start that over. Not slang.
You good? Yeah. It's slang generator. The slang separator. It takes the slang and just puts it apart so you can actually read it again.
It eats it apart.
Yeah.
The great Hilda Dolhammer, tinkerer extraordinaire and developer of the multifaceted slag separator, playing conscience for a gnome dullard and goblin brute. Now where's that detector?
As Hilda rifles through one of the mini bags that Bizkit brought with him, there comes a clatter of stone that is familiar to the dwarf, yet one she is unaccustomed to hear.
Strange. Field isn't activating yet. I'm sure I just heard something trying to sneak up on me. Well, joke's on them, because by the sound of it, they are stone of some kind, and a dwarf always comes prepared to crack some stone.
With a spin and a shout, Hilda pulls a blacksmith's hammer and tosses it in the direction of the noise. It sails through the air until it slams into a black stone form with a mighty crack. The body of the thing crumbles and scatters along the tile floor, leaving black marks wherever it rolls. Hilda moves to investigate the rubble by shifting the mess side to side with a heavy boot.
Interesting. An elemental made not of stone, but of coal. Odd, but certainly on theme with the season. How does a ghost summon an elemental at all? Unless...
Hilda's thoughts are interrupted as a set of quick footsteps come down the hall. Whitley stumbles onto the scene, clothing covered in rips and tears and hair tousled, but looking no worse than winded.
Whitley? What happened?
I think mimics. Dozens of them.
And you decided to leave them here? Oh, sometimes you really do earn the name Witless Whitley, you know.
No. Took care of them. Closed the door. Shouldn't be any around now.
Just as he finished saying this, a small snow globe with jagged glass teeth detached itself from Whitley's coat and charged at Hilda. Instead of smashing it with her hammer, the dwarf leaned down and snatched the thing as it got close, lifting it to eye level and examining it as it gnawed on her thick leather gloves.
Got 'em all, eh? Curious, though.
What is it, my dear Hilda? Evidence of possession?
No. In fact, this seems to be a perfectly mundane mimic.
Hilda cradled the snapping creature, tickling it with a finger until it squirmed in her grip.
Oh, a small, adorable one, but a mimic nonetheless.
Now, we cannot keep that, you know. Who knows the damage it will do in our apartment?
At most, it'll pretend to be objects and nip at you. Us. It'll be fine.
As Hilda schemed about the pranks that she could unleash upon her companions with the mini Gnasher, Biscuit walked in from his path in the kitchen. His eyes were half glazed over, and his outfit was sporting several...
Ah, Biscuit. Were you attacked as well?
Nope, just some desserts back there. Or there were, at least.
Desserts. That's it?
Yep. They were a bit more active than food usually is, but no match for Biscuit.
Well, that's good. Perhaps the haunting is limited to the Grand Hall, then.
Biscuit was attacked too, Whitley. He just didn't realize it.
He was?
I was?
You were. And so was I, for that matter. A coal elemental tried to ambush me.
Why, Hilda? I knew you hadn't been your best self this year, but to get coal sicked upon you, you must have been very naughty.
My soul to the first god that can save me from fools and dullards. No, Whitley. It's the creature that is haunting this place, though I loathe to call it an actual haunt.
Now I know that look in your eye, Hilda dear. You have determined our spectre. Well, go on, tell us.
We're dealing with a fae. Or at least some sprite like that.
What makes you say that?
Simple, actually. If it were a spirit, it would be haunting objects at random and would have set off my perimeter. Sneaking actual mimics, food monsters, and coal elementals into a mansion, though? That has all the telltale signs of a mischievous fae. A very boorish one, too.
Ah, boo! Where's your holiday spirit? As the trio turned their attention to the top of the stairs, a gray and white-furred creature appeared. It was about as tall as Whitley, with fox-like features, wearing a plum robe and laying inside a floating wreath casually while chewing loudly on a candy cane. So loudly, in fact, that it was a wonder none of them had heard it before.
Aha! I knew it! A kitten. I was the culprit all along.
Wait, I was the one who discovered what...
Yes, Whitley was correct. Sorry. Hilda was correct. It was a kitten, a half-fae spirit, and mischievous to the core.
Come down here this instant, sprite, so we can expunge you.
Tempting offer, but I think I'd rather stay out of harm's way, thank you very much.
Why are you doing this? Has the mayor done something to you recently?
Nope. Maybe I just like causing trouble.
She's robbing the manor.
Everyone turned their attention in surprise to Biscuit, but it was the kitten that cried out. How could you possibly know that?
I'm curious about that myself.
I heard a bunch of kobolds in the leaky barrel talking about robbing the manor tonight.
What? And you're just telling us this now?
I didn't think it was related.
How could it not possibly be related?
We were here to hunt a ghost, not catch thieves.
Well, he's got a point. Those are two very different things.
Hilda seethed for a moment, before tossing the snow globe mimic directly into Whitley's face.
Give me one good reason I shouldn't wring your neck, gobbo.
2 reasons, actually. 1, you'd have to haul everything home.
And the second?
I saved you a cookie.
The crumbling half of a gingerbread man that Biscuit produced from his pocket could barely be called a cookie, but it was enough for Hilda to let out a weary sigh.
Fine. You escape my wrath. This time.
Glad you all worked that out. Now, if you don't mind, I've got places to be. With a pop, the Kitson disappeared, presumably to wherever her kobold cohorts are currently colluding. Finally, managing to dislodge the mimic, Whitley pulled his cane sword once again.
We must hurry! The mayor's wealth is in danger!
The gnome charged up the stairs, making it only halfway before realizing that neither Hilda nor Biscuit had moved significantly with him.
Friends, why the delay?
Well, Whitley, you see...
We ain't chasing her.
What? Why not?
We aren't guards or heroes, Whitley. We're not risking our necks to save the wealth of some stuffy noble.
And I like my insides as insides. Besides, we were told to get rid of Spirit. Come tomorrow, Spirit will be gone.
But our honor is at stake. We cannot let him get away with this.
We won't, you daft fool. But we'll tell the authorities and the mayor what we found and still keep all our vital parts.
But I wanted to...
Let it go, Whitley. It's Christmas Eve. Biscuit has family to see tomorrow. I've got several experiments at home that need tending to. And you've got
an instrument to learn how to play.
That's right. I've got a long way to go as it comes to the Ethop. Thank you, Biscuit.
Yes, thank you, Biscuit, for reminding him that before you leave me alone... start over. Yes, thank you, Biscuit, for reminding him of that before you leave me alone with him for a full day.
You're both welcome. That is my Christmas present to you, both.
Sorry, I heard the figgy pudding again.
Just so you know, it's not recording on my side. So unless you guys have audio recording from Discord, those are just for us.
Okay, perfect.
Oh dear, I completely forgot to get either of you anything at all.
Maybe a day of silence?
No, I'll think of something wonderful, sure. All right, pack everything in. Let's go tell the mayor and head home.
And home they went, after a brief stop at the mayor's temporary lodgings to inform him of the situation. While he was less than thrilled to learn that they had left robbers in his manor, he understood their points and sent the guard to chase down the thieves and comb his home, after begrudgingly paying the nominal fee to the investigators, that is. Then came Christmas Day in earnest. Whitley spent most of his day clanging away on the Ethop, much to the chagrin of every nearby partygoer and well-wisher that came calling, and was thus subjected to an impromptu concert. Hilda attended her experiments, breaking only to leave a suspiciously wrapped and wriggling present in front of Whitley's door to thank him for his music. And Biscuit, despite his raid on the dessert table the night before, managed to once again beat all his cousins in their annual eating contest, and came in third in the burping contest that followed, losing to his cousin Nama and his mother. As the whole clan settled in for an after-food nap, piling together and snuggling up with their favorite family member, BizKid sighed and gave one final word before sleep took him.
Merry Christmas and good belches, everyone.
Cut.
I'm glad you had one in the chamber there.
Bravo.
Always.
And that's it. That's scene. Well, thank you so much, guys, for entertaining my little weird Christmas carol, as it were.
That's what we're here for, entertaining you.
Yes, that is all this channel is for my entertainment.
Basically.
Yeah. But yeah, I am so glad that went better than I expected, despite a few unable to edit them beforehand hiccups there that I saw. But we'll just leave that in the background. Nobody will know. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Script? What script? This was all off the cuff. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. It was all 100% improv.
Yep.
And I am so glad I kind of went back and forth on giving what character to who, and you guys played it perfectly. Yeah. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. And from all of us here on the Tales of Aneria team, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We absolutely love all the support that you give, and we're excited for the new year to come. There's exciting stuff happening with our season 2 of Tales of Aneria, and we've got some new stuff coming maybe from our Patreon, so don't forget to sign up for that. In the month of January, I think Scott and I are doing a new game of some kind. Maybe it should be interesting. But yeah, I think that's about it. Does anybody else have anything they want to say?
No, just thank you for all the support this year. We're almost at 5,000 subscribers, and we love every single one of you. We love all your comments. We love all your interactions on Discord. We appreciate all the support on Patreon, like you said. And just, we've had an awesome time.
Okay. Tori?
Yeah, I love you guys so much. Thank you for your support, and that we've loved the friendships that we've forged with you guys. So thank you for spending your valuable time hanging out with us.
Thanks, everybody. Again, we appreciate and love the community that we bring, and D&D fam is the best fam. I stick with that. I stand by that very strongly. So, appreciate each one of you making the community what it is, and for sharing with us all of your different talents as well. So it's really fun.
And here's to a wonderful 2024 full of D&D content.
Absolutely. Yep. Have a happy holiday. And
See you next year.
Soon.
The figgy pudding!
The figgy pudding!